I welcome you all over here. It's truly wonderful to see so many passionate professionals, developers. We see a good number around 450 plus or 460 plus joining the event. So thank you for taking the time out to join us for this exclusive hands-on session. I hope my voice is completely audible to all of you. Let me know or please just stop me in case if it's not.
Yeah, audible.
All right, thank you. Yes, so this exclusive hands-on session, as you're aware, is about building custom MCP servers for the API-driven applications. I'll introduce myself. My name is Shivpriya Sumba. I head the marketing at Nupro Technologies, and I'll be your host for today's workshop. For a brief time, before we move into the actual hands-on session, the reason why we are doing this workshop is definitely because with the technologies and like generative AI and LLMs kind of coming into the picture, and transforming how softwares are being built and used, it has become important for us to kind of not just know about these trends, but also make sure that our work is getting a lot easier with all of this. This session is completely about all of that, from moving theory to kind of going to practice. The reason, or let me set the context on why particularly this workshop matters, is because it reflects a much bigger picture with the shifting of this, with the shift in the skilling. Until recently, we still used to say that, skilling meant clearing your certifications and, completing your courses and getting onto the projects. Can I please request you all to please mute for a moment? Thank you. So yeah, definitely, it was all about watching tutorials or, like I said, just about YouTube videos. But however, it's about being hands-on, and that's what really being project ready means, and that's what project readiness really matters. It's about what you know and how much you know to implement. And this workshop, which is hands-on, is completely all of that about. I'm sure you must have gone through the exact registration form, and you are aware of what you learned today and what we are going to build in the next couple of hours. But definitely, you learn to design and develop a custom MCP server, which acts like an intelligent layer between the users and the backend systems. Overall, you will be learning how to build an AI interface for your applications. It's a skill set that's going to be incredibly valuable for you. And all of us here at New Pro definitely believe that not just for your projects in the future, but also for the rest of your career as well, this would be helpful. Not pertaining to just ITS industries, but definitely this is something that is being used for all the other verticals and industries so far. Definitely, we at Numipro believe that skilling should lead to deployment, and that's what this workshop is all about. Of course, today's focus is agentic platforms like MCP. Before we move ahead, I do want to have a few housekeeping notes. This is completely an interactive workshop. Feel free to ask your questions if necessary in the middle of the session, or if it's something that would not be an hindrance to the actual workshop, then you can keep the questions to your live Q&A at the end as well, in which our expert teams would be answering the questions. This session is definitely recorded, and you will have a YouTube link as well. The third thing I do want to mention, that since this is a completely hands-on session, everybody who will be completing the hands-on session towards the end until the last step would be getting the certificates as well. After this is done, obviously it take a little while. It probably take like a week or so to kind of curate all of these certificates and send it to you, but you'll receive the certificates on your email. And I do want to mention that the first three winners who've completed the hands-on session would also receive a AWS Amazon voucher from us. So that's a couple of housekeeping notes that I want to start with. So thank you once again for being over here. I do want to, before we dive in, I do want to introduce a few key people from my organization. I'm not sure if our CEO is over here. Giridhar, are you over here?
He's in another meeting, Shukriya.
Sure. Okay. So Giridhar, probably he'll join us after a while. He's the one who constantly pushes us to do workshops like this. Oh, yes. One thing that I did forget to mention, that this is the seventh workshop that we have with within New Pro. You'll have a lot more coming into the future, but definitely I know a lot of the participants are the ones that have joined us for the event before. So moving ahead, we have Rishi Ravi, our head of experiential learning. Rishi has worked closely, definitely into his department, but also with our learning partners, our customers, and enterprises. And he has a strong hold in Neopro technologies in shaping hands-on skilling and the journeys that are deeply aligned to the industry needs. So he'll briefly discuss about what Neopro is, what are the agentic AI specific skilling opportunities that are there with Neopro, and how critical priority it is for the organization. And after Rishi is done, I'll hand it over to the expert. So over to you, Rishi.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope you all can see my screen.
Yes.
So I'm Rishi. I had the experiential learning team at Nivepro. Okay. So with the rise of generative AI, the industry's focus has shifted sharply toward productivity. And this isn't just limited to software developers. The impact spans across all functions and the domains. So the question everyone is asking now is how we can get more done in less time with less effort and still maintain high quality. So when GenAI first arrived, many of us experimented with tools like ChatGPT and other generic copilots or chatbot builders. While these offered a glimpse into what's possible, they mostly scratched the surface in terms of actual productivity gains. So to unlock the real value, we need to go deeper. That means clearly defining the use cases where GenAI can demonstrate the ROI and building a strategy around those opportunities. That's exactly where we come in by bridging the gap with project-ready talent that can build purposeful and outcome-driven AI agents. When it comes to the platforms that can power the power this enterprise AI. That is, we have agentic platforms where it has no code to pro code, where the Crew AI or the AutoGen, like the coding, where the agentic frameworks can be developed. From there to the no-code platforms such as N18 or the Zapier. So where you would mostly automate things, that is the marketing team or the finance team, or for their purposes, they would use any of these no-code platforms, which is another agentic platform where they would automate things. And for the developers, like I said in the earlier, it is not just limited to the developers, but for other functions in the organization where such Crew AI or the Anthropic kind of things would be used for developing the agentic framework kind of platforms. And we are also familiar with Copilot platforms, say GitHub Copilot for sort of vibe coding, where it would again power the enterprise for building seamless interfaces or seamless applications, mainly for the developers. And similarly, there are other Copilot platforms as well, say Salesforce Agentforce, which is one of the powerful agent AI for the Salesforce utility, where they have completely moved on to the Agentforce, most of their models and the work pattern. So here is where team build end-to-end agents that using any of these tools, which they will use in the production as well. Yeah, and what we focus is on the two-phased journey. Sorry, this joining prompt is interfering my screen. Yeah, that's why. Okay, so when it comes to the skilling, so we focus on a two-phase journey, that is, which is again focused on the business outcomes. So when it is learned by doing, that is, we all practice things and learn things. That is hands-on things that we do to learn things, but we don't just stop at the just a hands-on practice. We are not stopping, but we move on to a skill validation where it proves by showing the skill. So of course, the first phase would be learning by doing things hands-on, and then we will move on to our solution gives you the opportunity to prove by showing that skill what you have learned so far. So this is where the designed two-phase journey that is completely for the business outcomes. And when it comes to an organization, there are different domains, there are different teams that take part. It is not just the developers. So there are role-based different domains in an organization, like the functional teams, where there are the HR, marketing teams, the finance team. So for everyone, this sort of Gen AI tools will provide certain opportunities. That is, like I earlier mentioned, the N18 or the Zapier kind of tools, which would help them in processing a feedback form or convert it into or create a HubSpot ticket kind of thing, where they can completely automate using the Zapier or N18. So we will be doing multiple workshops, or we have plans of doing workshop focused on functional teams. That is where there is no code involvement. And right now we are going to do a workshop on a pro code base. That is a developer centric workshop is what we have aimed today. But we have the plans for other programs, like the no code opportunities can be explored, and where the leadership or the L&D can explore certain areas using the Gen AI. So today we will be focusing on the developers, where we will build a tool, a custom MCP server uh, that would work with plain English. That is, using the just typing some English words, you will be communicating with the APIs to do its job. So normally we all know how the APIs we interact, say through the HTTP method calls that we interact with APIs when we are using any Postman or any similar tools. Instead of that, we will use a plain English. We will build a tool that would accept a plain English to convert the entire API functionality just by typing in using a model. And when it comes to the business outcomes, so what we focused is on the time to capability. That is the getting a person project ready in 4 to 6 weeks time. And that impact would be to roll out a POC in weeks and not in months. And we have the solution that we provide, which is skill validation, which is again a project-based skill proof, which you can flaunt as to show your skill. And then there is the visibility. That is the organization-wide board will give you a visibility on the tools and the business area. So when it comes to Nuvepro, we are the project readiness enabler for enterprises. So we provide solutions for upskilling and skill validation. And we have we have clients like the enterprises, like the Persistence in TCS, like that. The top leading global clients we have adopted our skilling solutions. When it comes to the Nuvepro platform, so we tie the learning to the business outcome, as I detailed earlier. So we are integrated with multiple LXP or the LMS platforms like Skillsoft, Degree, GoOne, where you could find our logo. For the skilling, you could utilize such bundles that we have created. Then it can be integrated, our platform can be integrated via SSO or API, or even LTI, it is supported. Then we have skill intelligence platform tied up, and we are available on AWS Marketplace, and we are SOC 2 Type 2 and ISO 27001 certified. About our products, so we have the sandboxes, which would play a real world playground for real-time skill practice. So here you will get a complete developer ready environment where you can simply start your practice. And the next offering, what we have is the practice projects. So along with the sandbox, we have the projects available. That is, a project would be from starting from 45 minutes project to, say, a capstone project or a milestone-based projects that we could deliver. So these are all based on the real-world scenarios, the industrial scenarios that we build the project, which is customized to every enterprise need. So our specialization is also into the customizing and building for each of the enterprise need. It is not common for everyone, because an enterprise would have a stack, a technical stack of, say, for example, if it is Java technical stack, the entire stack would be different from the development to the deployment. It could be on AWS using a set of services, but when it comes to another organization, the cloud could be different in the tech stack, or it could be the services that they are using in the tech stack. So that is where we can customize and build such projects, matching the tech stack of the respective enterprise. And finally, it comes to the skill validation assessments, which would let you found your proof that you are skilled, not just hands-on. You have done something, you have learned something, but you have the proof of a score that shows that how capable you are. And combining these, we could bundle such sandboxes and practice projects and the skill validation assessments together to form the skill bundle, which is again a customized skill bundle for every role. So it'll be more of focused on a skill goal, and the people would get a skill-based skill bundles, which could elevate their career and make them project ready. When it comes to our solution, so like I said, the skills validation and the upskilling, this is what we provide. So we provide real world assessments when it comes to the skills validation. So it could be for career progression, learning effectiveness, and then hands-on assessments or pre-assessments for as part of the project readiness. And when it comes to the upskilling, we have onboard training, freshers onboard training. So there again, the pre and the post assessments can happen. Then the bench management and getting them into the project readiness. And we also skill in the GenAI. So we have different programs in GenAI where developing agentic frameworks and designing certain agents for like the chatbots and other agents for different purposes. So these are all skilling on GenAI, including the all three cloud platforms integrated. We could provide such environments, say AWS Bedrock or the Gemini or the Azure OpenAI. So that way we could provide any sort of GenAI requirements on cloud as well. Then we also serve to the hackathons and the workshops requirements. So these are our customers. Yeah, so we will move on to the workshop now. So over to you, Shipriya.
Thank you. Thank you, Rishi. Yes, definitely like Rishi mentioned, skill development bifurcates and branches into skill validation and the upskilling, and Pro has been into the realm of the circle for both of it. So thank you, Rishi. Today's workshop is definitely on the same lines on kind of building this sort of skilling together. I would kind of request Chetna, and I would hand over the next part of it, the hands-on expertise for Chetna. Chetna brings expertise into the backend engineering, the LLM integration, and she'll be guiding us step by step through today's session, from designing the MCP server to plugging it, plus answering all of your questions into Q&A. Rishi and the rest of their team as well would be over here joining us today in kind of answering these questions if there are anything. But yeah, overall, Chetna would be an expert for today. I definitely see a lot of questions over here regarding the access to the workshop dashboard. I do want to mention that in case if you've registered much in advance, we've registered your email ID. However, in case if you register literally 10 or 15 minutes before, then then it would have gotten slightly difficult for our team as well to kind of enroll you in such a less time. However, please drop in your email IDs. We'll try to make sure in the next 10-15 minutes to register as many people as we can. But yes, and yes, another thing I do want to mention is that please register with the same email ID with which you've registered for the event, your work email ID. Please don't use any other email ID, as that would be crucial. We've registered the same email ID with which you've registered for the event. So with that, I will hand it over to Chetna. My email ID would be in the chat in case if you're looking for a specific demo like what Rishi gave to you just now. We'd be happy to do it for your team as well. And my email ID would be over here. Happy to answer all of your questions over the email if there are any. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shivpriya. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the MCP Server workshop. Let me quickly share my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once you log in with your registered email ID and the given password, so this will be the open page that you will be seeing. So you can see this workshop 7, that is building custom MCP server for API driven application. So you can click on that and then the workshop page will be open. So the main objective of this workshop is to learn how to build a server that can understand user queries in natural language and then map it to them to the structured API calls that are powered by LLMs. So first let us start our lab. Okay. So I want you to click on the let's build the MCP server activity, and then you'll be seeing this page. So you have this guided start guided project button. So click on that, and then you can click S and proceed.
Chetna, could you please provide me the link? Like, have you shared the link?
Yeah,
I
and the
think
login credentials. They were
yeah, the
Yes.
login
Yes.
credentials and the lab link has been provided in the chat box.
Okay.
It will be really great. I mean, if you could just reshare once again, because we have lost it because so many chats are there.
Sure, we'll do it. We'll reshare it.
Someone
Yeah.
shared,
And
already shared, someone.
let's pin that.
Someone
they
already
have to pin
shared.
it also, please.
Yeah, it's also pinned. Yes. Yes,
Since the
Chetna.
link has been pinned in the chat box, you can access it through that. So once you see this page, you can click on Start Lab button. Meanwhile, when the lab is getting started, you can access the right pane where you can see how to launch a lab and all the instructions with respect to that. If you're lagging behind, you can just go through these instructions and then you can start your lab. Okay, so the lab is getting created, and yeah, this would take a couple of minutes. So in the meantime, we'll go back and see what is MCP and we'll learn more about MCP. So you can see a green button here that is Introduction to MCP. So once you click on that, it will take you to the overview of the MCP page. I hope you all are with me.
Yeah, everyone, can you please go through my message? I've just shared it in the chat again with the login link and the login ID and password.
Yeah, hi. Do we need to do the lab parallelly, or once you people explain the lab, then we need to start it?
You should do it parallelly.
Okay.
Okay. So the ones who have got the access and are on the same page as Chetna, can you give us a thumbs up so we understand how many of you have the access? Great. So good number. We'll wait for 2 minutes more, Chetna, and then you can restart this.
In the meantime, we will go through the architecture of the MCP and the overview of what we are going to build today. So by the time the lab will be ready, normally it takes under 6 minutes to create. Shall we move on to the architecture part while the lab is getting ready and some of the login credentials are getting resolved? So probably we will start with the architecture.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I hope everybody are on the same page. So I'll be re-explaining how to access the lab. So once you open the NiviPro login page, you'll be seeing the workshop 7, that is building custom MCP server. So click on that, and then you can see the lab activity, that is let's build the MCP server. Click on that, and then if your lab is already in started condition, then you can see the continue project. Otherwise, you'll be seeing the start guided project. So click on that. It will take a minute to load. So just give it some time. So in the meantime, we'll go through what is the architecture of the MCP and we'll see how MCP works. So there is a green button named as Introduction to MCP. So if you click on that, you can see a book or a table of content with respect to MCP. So the first topic is about overview of MCP. So we'll first understand what is MCP and what is a real world analogy to it, and then the difference between that and the traditional plugins, and also the applications. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. So it is like a universal language or an interface that allows an AI model to interact with any external application or a system like API driven or database or services, etc. So the real world analogy for MCP is like USB-C for AI tools. That is how USB is used to connect to various other keyboard charges or storage. In the same way, MCP is used to connect to various services like API, database, etc. via LLM powered agent. So when we come to the difference between MCP and the traditional plugins or the API integration, so the first point is JSON and RPC format. That is, MCP uses JSON RPC format to define the tools, unlike custom REST or the API plugins. The, the second point is reusable server. That means whatever the MCP server that we are defining, it can be reused across many other applications with a minimal change in the written application. So the third point is dynamic tool use. That is, the tools are dynamically described and discovered by the LLM at runtime. The code is not hard coded, so whatever instructions will give it to the LLM, it will understand and perform the respective action. And the next point is multi tool support. A single MCP server can handle and expose multiple tools instead of a single plugin per function logic. So we can define multiple tools at the same time and the LLM will be able to access it. And the next point is security and logging. There is a built-in mechanism for auditing, logging, access control, etc. So if anything is going wrong or it's failing, you can check the log file, which is the built-in mechanism. Next one is the agent workflow. That is, it supports step-by-step agent reasoning, memory, etc. And the last point is LLM vendor or agnostic. That is, it works with any LLM and is not restricted to a single vendor or a platform. So it can work with OpenAI, Cursor IDE, Cloud Desktop, and many other vendors. So the application of MCP is that it is widely used in many other fields and domains like NLP interaction and API interaction, business workflow, DevOps automation, and IDE assistant. So one best example for NLP and API interaction is about the today's hands-on session. And when it comes to business workflow, it is about writing a template or meeting preparations and then accepting or rejecting a proposal and so on. When it comes to DevOps and automation, it is about writing a code and checking the logins and checking the errors and then committing the same. ID and assistant integrations, example for these are like Klein, Amazon Q, and many other tools. So this is the overview of the MCP. So let's check out the MCP core components. So there are three main components in MCP, that is host, client, and the server. So the
Yes,
first
yes.
component is the host, that is the interface or the application where the user interacts with the AI model. You can call it like something like a front desk where what the user sees and interacts with. And the client is, it is a lightweight helper that lives inside the host and it acts as a bridge between the host and the MCP server. So this is something like a messenger between the host and the server and speaks in the same language as host and the server. And the last one is the MCP server. So MCP server is a place where the real work happens. It is like a backend that exposes the tools and the LLM uses. So it contains a tool definition, API integration logic, DB access, and many more things that you want the LLM to do or the LLM will be able to do. So this is something like a action center where the real actions will be executed. So moving on to the MCP architecture, you can see the architecture diagram. So let me go through the architecture diagram. So first, the user will give the input to the client or the host. So client lives within the host, and then that input will be forwarded to MCP server. From the MCP server, the list of tools will be sent back to the client or the host. So along with the user input question and the list of available tools will be given to the LLM model. With this LLM model and the instructions, the LLM will decide which tool to use. And the same information will be sent back to the MCP host. The MCP host then gives the message to the server to call that specific tool and then perform the specific action. The same action or the API call will be sent from the server to the host, and the action will be performed, and the same result will be given as the output via LLM. So LLM is a platform where the user interacts. So the user can query the natural language queries in the LLM, and then you get a user friendly response from the LLM. So this is the MCP architecture. I hope everything is clear till now. So let's get started in building the MCP server step by step. So now we'll be going to the lab. You can go back to the previous page, and then you can see the option or the button called click on web desktop. So once you click on that, you will be taken inside the lab. I'll give you a minute so that you can enter your labs. Okay, let me quickly recap how to open the lab. So once you see the dashboard, you can see this workshop 7 building custom MCP server. Click on that, and then you can see this lab activity building custom MCP server. So you can navigate inside that, and then you can see a button called a start guided project if it's the new lab, or you can see a continue project if your lab is already put into create state. Once you click on this, you'll be taken to the lab page. And then you can click on start lab. And then you will be seeing a web desktop button. So once you click on that, you will be taken inside the lab page. Now that we have understand what MCP is, how its components work, and how LLMs interact with the tools, let's look at how to apply these concepts to the real world projects. So imagine a user saying, book 2 tickets for F1 movie at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So how does an AI assistant do that? How will it know what to do? So it needs to call a specific API and perform real action by filling in the required fields and keep track of it. So once you get inside the lab, so we'll be working hands-on on this application. So you can see a project folder on the desktop. So once you get inside a project folder, you can see there are 2 folders. One is building MCP server and the other one is movie ticket booking system. So the movie ticket booking system folder has 2 folders. One is the Node backend and a React frontend. That is, here we have a movie ticket booking system built using Node.js as a backend API and React for the frontend interface. So let us launch this application once. So you can see a start app file, double click on it, and then you can see a terminal or the command prompt coming up stating that installing all the backend and the front-end modules. Please do not close this command prompt or the terminal. Just minimize it. And it takes a minute to launch the application. So once you are inside the movie ticket booking system folder, you can see start app application file. So double click on that and then you will be seeing 2 command prompts coming up. Please do not close this, just minimize it. And then coming back to the building MCP server, you can see a API documentation here. Double click on the API documentation. So this movie ticket booking application supports few features like getting all movies and get the movie by name, creating a new movie with respect to movies, and then with respect to bookings, you can see get all bookings, get booking by ID, creating a booking, new booking, canceling and updating. So these are the features supported by this application. And all of these operations are exposed through a well documented, that is REST API, that acts as a foundation for our tool integration. So for any application that is having a clear API documentation, it becomes very easy for us to build an MCP server, because the each endpoint defined in this documentation will act as a tool URL so that we can integrate it in the MCP server. Just for your reference, I'll show how you can test the backend API using Postman. So you all know that the Postman is a API platform just to test the APIs. Once the application is launched, you can see the localhost 3000 page coming up in your Firefox. It takes a couple of minutes to load, so let it load. So you can see the front end application here. So whatever features I explained you in the API documentation, the same features you can see here. One is browse movies. So once you enter this, you can see there are 2 movies initially added. And then you can see a button to add new movies. You have few fields here, that is movie title, description, duration, seats, show times, etc. So one has to fill all these details to add a new movie. And then we have an option to view the bookings. So since there are no bookings yet, this page is empty. So this is about the front end application. Let's come back to building MCP server file explorer. So open this folder via VS Code. So you have an option. Once you right click on it, you can see open with VS Code. So use that option and open it in the VS Code.
Need to open API.
Not the API. In the project folder, you can see building MCP server subfolder. So open that folder in the VS Code. And also you have a README file in the same folder. So open that as well. So once the README file is open, you can see few more instructions and the details with respect to this project. So what is this project about? This project is a conversational MCP server that is built using a fast MCP. So fast MCP is a Python module that we have with respect to the MCP server building. And we have few more features here. That is, how does this project work exactly is it will understand the user intent from plain English, and then it asks for the missing information, and then it calls the appropriate backend API endpoints. So what does this MCP server do is it understands the user's intent in the plain English format, and then it asks for the missing information if the query is incomplete, and then it calls the appropriate backend API and then respond to the query in a user-friendly manner. So you can see what all the features that are incorporated in this application. So each feature or each API is written as a single MCP tool, and we'll be integrating that. So the tools and technologies that we are using here is the Python 3.9 plus edition, and then the fast MCP, HTTPX, logging, and the UVCon. So all these softwares and the IDE are provided pre-installed in your lab. No need to install or import any extra packages or the modules. So coming into how to build an MCP tool, we have defined few steps here. So we have to just follow the steps and then build the MCP server. So the first step is to import the necessary libraries. And you can see we have defined HTTPX, logging, fastMCP, date, and the necessary libraries. So you can see a copy option on your right side. So click that so that the code gets copied, and then come back to VS Code. You can see mcp server.py, that is the Python file. Open that, and you can see the instructions and the import library section, which is already done for you as a reference. So you can click here and then paste the copied code, that is the import section code. Once the required libraries have been imported, we are configuring the logging section. That is just to see and debug if any error occurs or any such issues occurs.
So we need to delete the old file which is already there and then paste it.
No need. Actually, we have kept that library for your reference. So let it be there. We can proceed with the further steps and then you can copy the new code and paste it in the respective sections.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And the second step is to define the MCP server. Since the application is related to movie booking system, I have defined my MCP server as movie booking MCP. So you can, this is also actually written in the code. So you can look into that. We have defined MCP is equal to fast MCP, movie booking MCP. So the first tool is get all movies. So the first task is to build a tool for get all movies. What does this tool does is it fetches all the available movies from the movie booking API. So let us copy this section of the code and then come back to VS Code and then you can paste it here. So at the rate mcp.tool acts as a decorator so that it will register this function as a tool for the MCP server. And then this is defined as an asynchronous function so that it allows multiple tools to get executed at the same time and does not provide any blocking. And then we have defined few doc strings, that is fetch all movies from the movie booking API. What does it return is it returns the list of movie objects with their metadata and the example output. So whatever we define within the doc string is important because the LLM will understand the instruction based on the doc string. And then we have defined the URL, that is the localhost 3001 slash API slash movies. This is the endpoint for this particular tool, that is to get all movies. And then we have defined a try except block where we are calling the await client.get URL so that it returns a JSON list of available movies from the backend. And then it sends a get request to the API endpoint and the result is stored in the response object. So you can see that response is equal to await client.get URL. And we have this raise for status. This will raise an error if response is not okay. If successful, it will pass the JSON response, logs the success, and returns a dictionary with the movies key with the metadata, which the LLM can use. So this is the format that we'll be using to define rest of the tools as well, except for the few minimal changes, that is with respect to the URL endpoint, docstring, and the asynchronous function definition name. Find a tool. So if you go through this, you'll be able to understand. The line number 80 tells that use at mcp.tool to register the function with MCP server. And then you have to define a asynchronous function. So basically, this is the instruction based on which you will be writing the code here.
And you're saying to get that from readme.md.
Yes. Since writing the code based on this instruction is time consuming, we have actually provided the exact code in the README file so that it is easy for us to copy paste from README to the Python file.
Except mcp.tool, is there any specific syntax that is specific to MCP server?
No, mcp.tool is a decorator, no? So that the MCP server will understand that you're defining a tool for that. So that is the general form that is being used.
I also want to ask that, like in LangChain or LangGraph, we also use @ tool as a decorator, but instead that we can also use a structure tool. So is there anything like that in MCP as well?
Pretty much everywhere it is used as @mcp.tool. So you can explore it
Okay,
when you're using it.
okay.
Yeah. So moving on to the second tool,
What
we
is the use
have
of
get
async def in the function name?
that is defining it as a asynchronous function so that you can execute multiple tools at the same time and there will be no blocking with respect to the functions. So the second task is about get movie based on name. So you can copy the same section of code from the README file where you can see the task 2 is about get movie based on name. So this tool will fetch all the movies from the booking APIs based on the name that we are providing. If you're giving a half of the name, so if you're giving an half, just half of the name, then you can see the name of the complete movie. So you can copy this code, come back to VS Code, and then you can put it there. Here you can see the variation in the doc string. So initially we had given just fetch all movies from the booking API. So here along with that we have asked it to filter them by the provided movie name. So based on this, the LLM will understand that it has to fetch the API using get movie based on name. So the arguments that we are passing here is the movie name, that is name. Either it can be a full name or the partial name of the movie to search for. And what does it return? It returns the list of matching movies if available. Otherwise, it returns an error message. And rest of the logic remains same. And then you can see here we have defined if is instance movies of dictionary so that it searches in the dictionary for the particular movie name. If it is available, it returns the metadata of that particular movie. Otherwise, it returns the error message. The tool 1 and tool 2 is with respect to get API request. Moving on to the third task or the third tool, that is with respect to creating a movie, that is the post request. So in create movie API, we need to add a new movie entry for the movie booking API. So you can see that when you click on add new movies in the front end application, there are few fields like movie title, description, duration, seats, show time, etc. So these are the required parameters or the compulsory parameters for the model. So the task 2 is about get movie based on name. So you can copy that section of code from your README file and then put it here.
Thank you.
Yeah. When it comes to the execution part, let us
No need to
define.
define that get all movies function, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Let us define one more tool that is with respect to post request, and then we'll see how to execute it in the front end application as well as in the LLM application. I hope everybody have configured both the tools. I hope everybody have completed both the tasks 1 and 2. Okay, let's move on to the third task, that is to create movie. So create movie is a tool that creates a new movie entry in the booking API. So it requires few parameters, that is the title of the movie, description, duration, show time, show date, and the available seats. So these are the parameters that are required for it. Even if one parameter is missing, it will come back asking for the missing parameter. So we'll see the working of it. So before that, copy the section of code and then you can put it under task 3. Within the asynchronous function definition, we have defined the parameters. And when it comes to the docstring, you can see that we have defined it as a create a new movie using movie booking API. If any required field is missing, return a message prompting the user to provide it. That means if user lacks to give any one information or the one field is missing, it will come back asking us to provide the missing details. So we have defined a missing parameter list and we have defined all the parameters. If any one of it is missing, it will get appended to the list and then you can see the missing parameters. And the rest of the logic remains same. There is no change in that. Once you're done with all the 3 tasks, just save it.
How can we save that?
Control S. You can just click Control S.
Okay.
Then you can auto save the file.
Hello, Chetna.
Yes.
Just one question. I'm getting this one exception at the HTTPS library and this fast MCP that no, could not be resolved. Import HTTPS could not be resolved. So how exactly I can import this library?
Where are you trying to import this?
In this MCP server, like at the top, line number.
I think you might have removed it or you have added it twice because
ప్రాజెక్ట్
actually we had.
చూపిస్తున్నారు లైవ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ సర్వర్ ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి అని కానీ నాకు
You
లాగిన్
can see
అవ్వట్లేదు.
the required libraries have been imported at the top, that is from line number 10 to 14. Just make sure that the libraries are imported.
I think you must not be using the virtual environment.
Okay. Now that we have defined the 3 tools, we will see the working or the execution of these tools. So in this application, we are using Claude Desktop as the LLM. So you can come to the search bar and then search for the Claude Desktop application. Open that. And then you can see Get Started button. So click on that.
Where is the Cloud Desktop application?
It is available on the desktop. Otherwise, you can go to the search bar and search for it.
It is not available for me. Sorry, I searched. No result found.
You can see Cloud Desktop on your desktop itself. So you can double click on this. Otherwise, you can go to the search bar and search for the Cloud Desktop application. Once you are within the Cloud Desktop application, you can see there is an option to enter your personal or the work email ID. So I request everybody to enter your email ID and get access to the Cloud Desktop.
So it would be work email ID like which we registered or personal?
You can use any email ID, but make sure that you have access to that email ID so that once you enter your email ID and continue and click on continue with email ID, you'll be getting an OTP to your email.
Okay.
Okay. So then you can see this text box for asking for verification code. You can check your inbox and then there will be a code available. You can enter it here. This will take a couple of minutes so that you get the OTP to your email IDs. So use that.
Chetna, you're on mute, I guess.
Once you get your verification code, you can enter it so that you can see this page and click on skip so that you can see your closed desktop application page.
Chetna, I am getting something different. So right after entering the code, it's directing me to enter the mobile number.
Yes.
Is there an option to skip that?
I'm not seeing an option to skip.
There's no option to
Says
skip.
same verification code or either use a different ID.
Once
Nothing
register
else.
mobile number and that, then it's asking for the plan.
Yeah, it's for me also it's asking for to choose between plans.
Yeah, same for me as well. Plans
If
to
it's
go
a
with.
plans, please choose free plans.
You will go with this free plan.
Is this
Yeah,
specifically
even
for these
after that,
TCS?
it is not letting
It's for
us go.
everyone. Yes.
Yeah, hi Chetna, Jiva here. Am
How
I
will
audible?
we plan on this question?
Hi Chetna.
Yes.
Yeah, Chetna, quick question, quick summary. I have to rush for something else. See, I'm more than lab. I'm interested in understanding the MCP. I just didn't get the whole crux of it, like model context protocol, host, that architecture I understand, but whole picture of MCP, can you please give it in one line or two lines? Like what are you trying to do? Whole.
Okay, so the MCP is nothing but it accepts the user English. So suppose if I tell the model to book a movie for some movie at tomorrow 2 p.m., then it will actually go to the application and then just book the movie and comes back telling that the movie is booked and then it will give me a confirmation message. So instead
Okay.
of suppose you can see this application here, right? The front end application.
Okay.
Yeah, suppose if I want to book a movie, I have two movies in my application. So one is
All right.
Inception and other one is Dark Knight.
Dark
So
Knight.
if I
Okay.
click on view details, I can see the details of this movie and it asks me for the particular details, right? Your name, select
Okay.
date, time, etc. So instead of typing all this here, I can just give it in a line telling that book a ticket for John on
Okay.
tomorrow at 2 p.m. That's it. If you send that to the model, it will understand that you have to call this create booking API and it performs the respective action, comes back telling that congratulations, we have booked a movie ticket for you for so and so date, so and so movie.
Okay, with you so far. Now my question is, I mean, uh, where do you code? How does this model or context knows? Like, once at least we need to train the model, right? To book the tickets.
No, we already have a application, right? That is movie ticket booking application in your
Acha, who
project
built that
folder.
application? That is built by someone else.
Yes, we'll be having a full stack application which is working. So for that, we'll be having a API documentation. So using this documentation, we can just define the MCP tools and then integrate with the LLM. You can use either the Cloud Desktop or the Cursor or any other IDE. So you can
Acha, so
integrate it with that and then you can call this.
So basically, more MCP integrates the booking app and user request.
Yes, not only the booking application, you can integrate the task management applications or any other real-time applications.
And one more query regarding the payment integration. For example, in order to complete the process, we need to do the payment process as well, right?
No, it does not require the payment. You can see there is an option to choose a free plan. It's not
Uh,
only restricted to Cloud Desktop here. You can either use Cursor as your interaction IDE.
No, actually, in real-time application, for example, for Book My Show and all, we have a payment module. So in the payment module itself, we have different credit cards and then different offers. Like how can we handle all these type of requests?
That is different from the simple application that we are building. We can integrate it with that as well, but then yeah, obviously it requires a payment modules, and then will require a domain for it to host the application. So that is a bit different than what we are actually doing it right now. This is just a
Got it.
practice project.
Okay, got it.
So there will be additional tools for that in terms of the payment that will have to be developed. So similar way we can
So Chetna, like, see, I am having a particular API application and I'm
Can you tell me where we will prompt for this once it is deployed?
Yes, yes. For that itself, we have this Cloud Desktop here. Okay. So I want you all to be on the same page, and then you can see the three lines on your left top. Okay. So this is where we execute it and then integrate the MCP server with your Cloud Desktop. So you can see the file option and then the settings. This is a practice project, so there is nothing called submitting it. So we are just working it hands-on so that we get the exposure on how to build the MCP server and integrate it with the Cloud. So let us
I have
proceed
also
with.
done all of it.
And
What
and
kind
you
of
can
prompt are
share
you
your
giving?
screen
Can I
also.
can I stop the lab then?
So you could share the screenshot, Rohit, once you are done with it. So there are a couple more API. If you would like to try out, you can integrate that. So there we have tried 3 tools now, right? So there are a couple more APIs endpoints available. So if you would like to try that, you could try it and share
Actually,
the
I have
screenshots.
done all of them. Like,
Okay, you could share your screenshot then, Rohit.
okay, yes. In this chat only.
Yes.
Hello,
yes.
Rohit.
Okay.
Hello, Rohit.
have
What kind of
yes,
prompt did you give to it? I have also done everything, but the prompts are not being accepted.
Chetna, I think we have less than an hour left. So yeah.
I
Yeah.
have one question.
So if the prompts are not being accepted, so let us follow the steps that we are doing it right now. So once you open this settings page, you can see a developer option. So click on that, and then you can see a button called Edit Config. Click on that, and then you can see a JSON file that is Cloud Desktop config that is opening in your File Explorer. So this is a JSON file that is required to integrate our MCP server with the Cloud Desktop. So double click on this.
Sorry,
And
repeat a bit slowly. I
yes,
lost
sure.
it.
Please, can you start again?
Yeah. Once you're on the Cloud Desktop page, you can see there are 3 lines on your left top. So click on that, File, and then come to Settings. And then if you scroll, you can see a Developer button. Click on that, and then you can see Edit Config. Once you click on that, you can see a Cloud Desktop config JSON file.
I'm not seeing edit config. I'm just seeing a blank.
Config is not visible.
Edit config is not coming for us.
Custom
Edit
MCP
option
server
is not there.
Scroll down, scroll down.
We have scrolled down, but
Oh.
there is custom
Scroll down,
MCP.
scroll down.
If you're not able to see that even after scrolling, then you can unlock the taskbar and then put it to your right pane so that you can see the screen still more clearer. So I hope
Log out
everybody
and
can see this edit
log.
config button.
Yes, log out and log in. It will work.
Rishi,
And then
meanwhile, can everybody follow in into Chetna's steps? Can you just confirm?
after
So
2 to
once
2
you can
seconds, what we need to do?
Can you repeat from settings?
मैं कैसे जाऊँ मेरे को नहीं आया
okay, so you can traverse from file, settings, and then you can see a developer option. If you scroll down, click on that, and then you can see edit config. So
Yeah,
once you
this
click on that, you can see the Cloud Desktop config file here. So double click on that and you can see an empty file coming up, something like this.
Chetna, how to make the edit config appear as now visible? Is there any other thing?
The window is a bit large. Try resizing the window. It's somewhere towards the bottom left.
There is a new
Or
you're already, and if you're seeing a custom
Guys, I think you need to delete that existing custom MCP. Then automatically you will get that option of edit, and then you guys can follow what Chetna is saying. I tried that and I'm exactly where she's now. I mean, VS Code I am. And by default,
one thing is we also need to also explore a little bit on what we can do, right? I mean, all instructions might not be 100%. Maybe like 80-90%, just follow and see what we need to edit and how we need to work.
yeah. So in the VS Code, you can also see there is one more Cloud Desktop config.json file. So you can copy the available code, that is the configuration code from this file to the main config.json file. And then you have to save it. So here we are defining the MCP servers as movie booking MCP. And then you're passing the command here, that is run with fast MCP. And then we have defined the path of the MCP server. So once you are in the Cloud Desktop page and click on edit config file, you'll be getting a Cloud Desktop config JSON file. That will be an empty file. Or if there is any code, just clear it out. And then you can see there you have one more Cloud Desktop config.json file in your project folder. So copy the available code in this JSON file to the main Cloud config file and then save the file. I hope this is clear.
Chetna, can you please repeat the VS Code step?
Okay. So once you are able to see the Cloud config file, that is the Cloud config JSON file, you can see there is one more Cloud Desktop config file on your project folder. So you can open that and then copy the available code in this and then paste it to the main Cloud config file.
If I have understood properly, whatever within the code base itself, within build MCP server, whatever the existing, content of the cloud desktop configuration JSON files content, I need to copy that to Cloud's actual JSON file.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Or it is also provided in your README file. So if you see here, you have this Cloud Desktop configuration section where you have configure Cloud Desktop using to use MCP server. There also you can see the code. So you can just copy that code and then put it to your VS Code where you can see the Cloud JSON file. So once this is done, do save the file.
Chetna, can you please tell once again from edit config?
Once you click on edit config, you can see a Cloud Desktop config JSON file. So double click on that and open it via VS Code. Once that is done, you can also see there is one more Cloud Desktop.config JSON in your VS Code itself. That is from the project folder. So copy the content within this config JSON file and put it in the main cloud desktop config.json file and then save the file. I hope these steps are clear. So once this is done, after saving, just right click on the open the cloud desktop and then terminate it. So once you close the cloud desktop, you can see a left or the hide arrow here. Then you can see a cloud desktop icon. Right click on that and then quit it.
Sorry to disturb because I have seeing this JSON one as it is in the build MC server. So what need to be changed? Not getting.
If you have copied
you
the code from the JSON file, then everything is correct there. Just do save the file and then close the cloud desktop
I didn't.
application.
It's already okay. It's already there in the that folder. It should be not be having this movie booking MCP. If you look closely,
After
this moving
reopening
booking
the
MCP
cloud,
should be there.
it showed that project is not supported for free accounts.
Okay. Already all things I see same whatever saying, but I'm not able to see which only movie booking MCP that need to be changed. You mean to say? Yeah, but basically copy it everything. Everything else is same, but copy everything. Yeah. Copy it from where?
Copy
So
the
Chetna,
complete
cloud
JSON
is
file.
cloud is the one which hosts the MCP server, right? Cloud is the application.
Yes. Yes. Cloud itself acts as the host and the LLM. In place of Cloud, you can use other applications like Cursor, Climb,
Sorry,
etc.
sorry to disturb. This JSON file where need to copy?
The folder path has been posted in the group, so you can refer to that folder path.
So inside this build MCP server, we have this JSON, right? This
Yes,
is there
copy the
or we need
content
to copy?
from this and then put it inside the path which is being shared in the group. That is with respect to
Okay, cloud one. Sorry, cloud one. Okay, got it.
Chetna, let's move ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Once that is done, close the Cloud Desktop application. And once you click on this show hidden icon, there will be a Cloud Desktop icon as well. So right click on that and then quit the application. Since I've already quit my application, I don't see that icon. So I hope everybody else will be able to see that and then quit it. Once that is done, open a new terminal in the VS Code. And then the further steps involves activating the virtual environment and then running the MCP server.py file. So the instructions for that is being provided in the README file. So you can see a section called running the MCP server. And the first step is to activate the virtual environment. So copy this command, come back to VS Code and then paste it in the terminal. Once that command is being executed, you can see a VNV in the starting of the folder path that specifies that the virtual environment is being activated. Now we are supposed to run the mcp server.py file. So go back to the README and you can see a command that is fastmcp run mcp server.py command. Copy that command, come back to VS Code and then paste it. Once that is executed, you can see a command line information telling that starting MCP server with a specified name, etc. So once this is run, you can open your Cloud Desktop application. You can either go to search bar and open the desktop application or minimize the whole applications and then you can see this on your desktop.
Chetna, I'm not able to see that command window below that code. Python
Go
file.
to the three dots here and then click on terminal and then click on new terminal.
New terminal. Okay.
Yeah, then you will be seeing this. So first step is to activate the virtual environment. So the command for it is given in the README file under running the MCP server step 1. Copy this code, come back to VS Code and activate your virtual environment. You can see a prefix telling that VENV, that means virtual environment is being activated. And then the first thing is you have to run your Python file. So the command for it is already provided. You can use it. The command is fastmcp run mcp server.py. So once you execute that command, you can see the server is started and then open your Cloud Desktop application. Once your
Chetna,
application
apologies
is
for interrupting, but actually, I am not able to see the prompt. Like, I am in the terminal, but like the path of C is not appearing in my terminal. So, have I missed something? Like, how can I fix that?
The
you should
open
be able
command
to
prompt,
see
yeah,
it. Yeah.
it's not coming actually, Chetna. They can open the command prompt and give the same command.
Okay, okay, we'll try with command prompt. Thank you.
Yeah. Or the other way around is to go to the MCP server folder and then open the command prompt so that you will be in the same specified path and then you can follow the same steps, activating the virtual environment and then running the fastmcp server file.
Can you repeat
Sure.
after
Thanks.
opening the terminal step? I have opened the terminal. So what I need to do there?
You can check out your README page where you have the running the
Okay.
MCP server section. So the first step
Okay.
is to activate the virtual environment and then execute your Python file. So I hope everybody is clear with executing the Python file. And once that is
Yes.
Chetna, I followed the same thing, but when I opened this like cloud, so I got that project are not supported with free tier.
you can just click on the
Gotcha.
cross mark. That is just
Okay.
a warning message. Yeah.
Okay.
You- Yeah.
Chetna, I could
You can
just
see
copy
here
it.
it is a free plan and there is an option to upgrade. Just let us not worry about that. So you can see a icon here for search and tools. If you click on that, you'll be able to see your MCP server. That is movie booking MCP. And then if you click on that, you can see the 3 tools that we have defined. One is get all movies, one is get movie based on name, and the other one is create movie. We are able to see here only the 3 tools because we have defined only 3 tools in your Python file. So
Chetna, on the command prompt, I see starting MCP server, movie booking MCP.
yes,
So I have to wait, right?
yes, that is correct. Once you see that message, open your Cloud Desktop application.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if you click on this search and tools icon,
Movie booking MCP thing. So, Chetna, just to verify, like for you, it's showing movie booking MCP. For me, it's showing custom MCP, but we have 3 options. Like only the name is different.
It is.
That would be okay.
that is because you might have not changed
edited.
the MCP server name. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That
So
is
that is
okay.
okay,
You
right?
can, yeah, that is okay. You can actually define it according to your applications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chetna,
Once you're,
I have custom
Chetna, I also
MCP
see
without
custom
any rules.
MCP, but it says disabled.
Yeah, the same thing.
Custom MCP disabled is what I see.
you can close your cloud application and then quit the complete application and then reopen it. Then you will be able to see those processes. So once you are able to see all the tools here, you can just query your LLM model. Okay, let me show your example.
Chetna, I am stuck just after copying it from one JSON to another cloud. After that, what we need to do, if you don't mind, please.
The instructions and the steps have been mentioned in the README file. Could you please go back to README and then follow the steps accordingly? So I'll be querying the LLM as show me the list of available movies. And then if I enter it, it should be able to give me the list of available movies. So you can see that it is accessing Get All Movies API. And then it shows the 2 movies that are available, that is Inception and The Dark Knight. So in order to just to confirm the available movies, you can go back to your front-end application. And then if you're able to browse the movies, you can see there are only 2 movies that are being added. So the same 2 movies are being reflected in your Cloud Desktop application. So this is with respect to get request.
Yes,
Chetna,
sorry.
one question
You
I have
want us
is
to share
like,
the
it is
screen shot?
prompting me to select the tool. So it's asking whether should I allow always or allow once. So
Yes. Click on allow always.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Chetna, one thing. I have followed the steps and I have started the server. I mean, first the virtual environment followed by the server. In terminal, it's showing fine, but after that, Cloud application will be automatically launched.
No,
Or
you
I
have to open it. You have to go to your search bar and then open your Cloud Desktop application.
okay. Again, I need to log in.
No, it doesn't require login. You can just open the application and you'll be able to see your MCP server integrated.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we saw how the get request works. So let us try the post request, that is to add a new movie. Let me just try a vague query.
Sorry, Chetna, quick thing. It says I prompted, okay, but I'm getting a message from Claude saying that it's not able to reach the movie application. Okay, I pinged the message in chat.
Okay, if you have posted your query in the chat box, then our team will be replying for it soon. Okay. So moving on with the post request, I'm just giving a vague query, that is add a new movie without passing any parameters. So let's just see how it comes back. See here. So adding a new movie actually required few specifications like title, description, duration, etc. Since I have not given anything or any information to the LLM, it came back to me asking for the required missing details. It has come back telling that I can help you add a new movie, but I'll be needing the following information. And it has also given me an example. So just to add that, I'll be editing the same message.
You are getting the example, but for me it is not giving any example. It has
That
given the
is
detail.
that is the behavior of the LLM. So whatever docstring will be querying, it depends on that, and then it will give us a response. Even if it is not giving an example, that is completely okay because it is coming back and asking us for the missing details. So I'll be filling in a missing details just with a random example. So the movie name I'm giving it as The King, and the description is F1 fictional movie, and the duration is around 120 minutes. And show date, let me put it as today, that is 16 July 2025. And then show time, I'll put it as 4 p.m. and available seats is 100. So these are the details that I'll be filling in and I'll send it. Then you can see the response. It is telling that it will add the movie to the movie system. And then you can see the response telling that great, I've successfully added the movie to the system, and you can see the list. So once you have added a new movie, you can check it back again telling that show me the movies available. So that initially it was just the 2 movies, and now we have added one more, so it has to display 3 movies. Let's see how much it will give. You can see that it is able to display all the 3 movies in the Cloud Desktop application. And if you go back to your front-end application and then just refresh it, you can see there are 3 movies listed. That is, the new movie is added in the front-end application as well. This is the working of the MCP server when integrated with the defined tools. So there are few
Chetna,
more.
we have 3 tools right here. One is for getting all the movies, and then another is for searching specific name, and third is basically inserting a movie, right? And all are
Yes.
called asynchronously, right?
Yes.
So can we try one query like show me the list of movies and insert this movie? I mean, can we call two tools in a single query?
Yeah, you can check it out. You can try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have
Moving on
added
to the
3 tools, but when I am in the cloud, I can see only 2, not the 3. Get all movies and post this create movies.
Are you able to see the server name, that is movie booking MCP server or the custom MCP? Either of the
Custom
tools. Yeah.
custom
If you click on that,
MCP. Yeah, and under that I can see that list of movie and create new movie, not the middle one.
that is because you might have missed something in your MCP server.py file, or you might have not defined the
I have added.
tool.
I have added the tool.
Yeah, you can share the screenshot so that we'll be able to help you with that. And then moving on to the rest of the tools, there are few more tools that is defined in step 3.2 under rest of the tools. So there are another 4 or 5 tasks. That is one for create booking, get all bookings, and then update booking, cancel booking, etc. So similarly, you can just copy this section of the code and then paste it under the respective sections. So the task 4 is create booking. And booking data requires few more parameters, so that we'll be defining it there itself. And then we have the task 5 to get all bookings. So copy the same code and then paste it under task 5.
Yes. So what about
Similarly,
Hyper-V, all those questions?
similarly, you can define rest of the tasks, that is from 4 to 8. It is just simple that you
Sorry
can.
to interrupt here. I've completed all the tasks here. Is there anything else apart from this? I'm able to run and command all those functions.
Yeah, but in order to execute and check for the other tools, you have to go back to the same procedure.
Yeah, I
Let
have
me just.
coded all the tools. That is fine. I have coded all the
Yeah.
tools and also checked it.
Yeah, since you have coded and then if you're able to execute everything, then you can share the working of the screenshots in the group so that they can have a
I
check
have
at
to
it.
show everything or what all things you
No,
require
you can just
specifically?
query few things and then you can share a screenshot.
Okay, fine. I'm
Yeah.
sharing a screenshot over in email, right?
You
Where
can put
should I
it in
share?
the chat itself.
Okay, I will share a PDF then. Fine, thank you.
Yeah, sure. So once you have completed integrating all the tools, you have to again restart your Cloud desktop. So the first step is to stop the running MCP file. You can press Ctrl C and then terminate the running one. And then you have to deactivate it. So the command to deactivate is just type deactivate and then enter, so that you can see that the terminal has come out from the virtual environment. And the next thing is to close your Cloud desktop. Close your Cloud desktop and then you have to quit it. So the same procedure where you can see a option to see the hidden icon and then right click on it, then quit. So this means that your Cloud desktop application has been quit completely and your
Can you tell
virtual
the command
environment.
for the deactivate?
Say,
Just
Chetna, like we have entered all the tasks. Post that what we need to do.
Save the file and then come to your command prompt.
Okay.
Terminate the existing running file, that is you can press Ctrl C and then terminate it and then type deactivate. So once you type the deactivate and execute it, you can see that you will be out of your virtual environment.
Okay.
And then close your Cloud desktop application. after closing your Cloud Desktop application, you can see a symbol to check the hidden icons. Once you click on that, you'll be able to see a Cloud Desktop icon again. So right click on that and quit the application. You can refer to the same steps that we have defined in the README file. If you follow those steps, you'll be able to execute it. So once you have defined all the other tasks and you're out of the virtual environment, in order to execute all the APIs or all the tools together at the same time, again, you have to activate the virtual environment and just run the Python file. Let me clear my terminal.
The total number of tools should be show as a 6, right? In the
it shows how many tools you have defined. So there are totally 8 APIs. So you will be seeing 8 tools. So let me activate my virtual environment and then execute my Python file. So again, I can see that starting MCP server, and then let me open my Claude.
Chetna, can you explain how the cloud uses the MCP server? We have, configured that. So, how exactly?
If you remember that we had defined the JSON file, right?
Yeah. So what we are doing exactly there? Can you explain the
within
JSON
the
part?
JSON file, we are defining a term called MCP server. So within which we are passing few more things. That is, one is the movie booking MCP. This will define the name of the MCP. And then we have a key value that is command. So for the command, we are passing few more parameters. That is, we are running it as a UV file. And then the arguments that is run with fastmcp run. So we are running this Python file with respect to fastmcp, and then you're giving the path of the Python file. So based on this, the Claude will understand that this is a MCP server, and then it will integrate this in its application. So once you open the Claude desktop application and click on the search and tools, you will be seeing few more options. One is the web search and the other one add connectors, manage connectors, etc. Along with these tools, you will be seeing the MCP tool that we have configured. Since this application server name is movie booking MCP, you can see that name. And once you click on that, you can see the list of tools. Since I have already configured all the APIs or all the tools, you can see there are 8 tools here. And there is the option to disable all tools. And you can either disable each tool with respect to your usage. If you don't want to activate this get movie based on name, you can just disable that.
Okay, so we are mentioning that command and all, right? So does Claude starts that fast MCP server, or then why we
Yes,
have to
it
manually
does.
start the server? So
It
without the
does.
so without starting the server manually, will it work?
Hello.
Yes.
Chetna, so
Manually, we have to actually start the application because this is not a complete automation. So the Claude desktop actually needs a manual start. So each time you make a change, you have to go back and then restart it. So suppose you know that if you're running a front-end application and if you come back and make any change, you can see that there will be a command telling that the host or
yeah,
the
that's
local
clear.
host will be, yeah.
That's clear. So as we are mentioning the commands in that config file, so I thought the cloud will automatically spin up the fast MCP server.
It
But here
depends
we are.
on the application that we are using. Claude is not working like that. So probably you can check it out with Klein or any other IDs like Cursor, etc. You can try out with those applications as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a follow-up question on that. Okay. So the in the JSON that we have placed within the project, right? So that's more of the our project where we are specifying MCP server dot Python. I mean that's the code it needs to refer, right? So, but how does Claude know that it needs to read this MCP server? Sorry, I don't know. I mean, as in how exactly that's working.
We'll be defining a file path there. If you see your JSON file, we are defining the mcp server.py file. So within the py file, we have actually defined it as a decorator at mcp.tool. So this will register this as a MCP server tool, and then the Claude will understand. So whatever parameters we are passing in the JSON file, that is mandatory. And we have to use the same keywords what we have, that is the MCP servers and the commands and the args. The name of the MCP server and the path file may vary according to the place where we have kept the application.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It means, sorry, yeah, it's still not clear, but that's fine. Yeah, let's move on.
Can I add something? So here the MCP server acts as a server, and whatever the client right now we are using like a cloud or cursor is acting as a client, and the client is connecting to MCP server. So right now here we are defining which MCP server is connecting from this client. Is my understanding correct?
Yes.
I
The
have one
client
more
and
question. Good.
yeah, the client
That's
and
where my
host will
question is,
be
right?
at the same place.
So, okay. So, I mean, this is where I am not able to follow, right? So you have basically Claude running on your desktop, okay? And then you have, I mean, all you have defined this JSON is within your project. Claude has nothing to do with it, right? So that's where, I mean, how Claude is able to listen to your application, which is basically MCP server ultimately, right? So how are we telling Claude that this is where you need to
This
or this
JSON
Claude
file,
is
what I have
intelligent?
put it in the project folder is for the reference. But initially, when we are configuring the Claude desktop, we were able to click on that edit config option. I hope you remember that. So
Yes,
when you click on that, yeah,
that config was, I mean, okay, it opened up basically Claude has different
yes.
config file at a different location, okay, which has nothing to do with the project, okay. And we copied the code from that particular JSON file into the JSON file of our project, but still I'm not able to understand how Claude is aware that this, I mean, a server is running from our project, right? So how would it know that? I mean, as in that's the bit I'm not able to follow. You, hope you got my question. See, everything we
Yes.
are specifying is within the project. We are not anywhere telling. I mean, I know it magically then appeared on when you are prompting on. I mean, you are prompting on Claude. There, I mean, I can see that okay, whatever operations that we have built here, they are available to Claude desktop. I mean, whatever get movie. Add movie, I mean, create movie. Those things were those operations were available. But how did it actually go to there? Because this Claude, this JSON is
Yeah,
within your
so I think
project, right? So
the thing is,
that's
the prompt which you entered there, that is what was the redirection which Claude did. So if you give another prompt which is not defined by the tool, it will not go there. You can just follow this thing, create another tool, say
no,
for
that I
hotel
know. I mean,
bookings.
as in I know because it's only working to what you have coded here. That part I understand. But my even question is even before that. I mean, how does it even know
No.
that? Okay, it needs to.
No,
That
The
is part of the
configuration
tools, right?
file, JSON
Yes.
configuration file
So
will
that's
be
part
in the
of your
editor.
tools.
In the sense,
Have
config of a
selected
Claude.
this file from Cloud, right? So
Okay, let me quickly show you here. See, I don't have any cloud config.json file here in my folder, correct? So that was
Yeah.
actually kept for your reference. So when you are inside the Claude desktop application, and once you traverse via file settings, etc., and then you can see this edit config, correct? So once I click
Localize.
this, I'll be getting a Claude desktop config within the Claude application folder.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
this is where the application comes in. Once you double click on that, you'll be getting a JSON file. Initially, either it would be empty or some other code will be written in it. Okay,
Yeah, this
so
is where
here,
we changed this to movie booking MCP, which is what we
yes,
gave our application again as same name. Okay, with the same name. Is this what you're? Okay. So we are making this change two places, right? So okay. And
actually, whatever
No.
JSON file we had given in the project folder was for your reference to understand. So once you're editing the config of the Claude desktop, you'll be getting a new JSON file within the Claude folder in your app
okay.
data or some
Sorry.
other different path.
Then okay. So if I get now. Okay. So if you,
Yes.
I mean, now that we have deleted the JSON file from our project, if you still run it, I mean, it should still be able to, I mean, as in, I mean, though you have now
Yeah.
killed it, but if you restart
Yes.
it, I mean, as in, it should work, right? So,
That JSON
so
file has nothing to do with the project. So we had just given it for your
exactly.
reference.
Right. Oh,
So
okay,
if
okay.
that
Sorry.
is
Yeah, I mean,
confusing, then you can just delete
Ah,
that folder.
yeah, that's what. So sorry,
Chetana,
I made the change in both places, both JSONs. Okay, so I mean, as in the one that you open now and the one that was in project with the same names. Okay, I completely missed the point that okay, I did the change at two places, and I was only looking at one place, which is basically in the project, saying that okay, how then Claude knows. I mean,
Chetana, can
Yeah.
I just mention something about this file? I went
Yes.
ahead and deleted the configuration that I found already present. I wanted to do edit as you mentioned, and I finished editing the file, the JSON file, which is inside the app data folder of for
Yes.
Claude application. But having done that and then followed the README, which says you have to restart the desktop, Claude desktop,
Yes.
it is still not able to read this. So is it requiring some other
Even
the application to run or
I think
something?
you have missed one step, I believe. So once you close this Claude Desktop application, if you click on this show hidden icon, you can see a Claude icon
Okay, there's
here.
one more. Okay, okay.
Yes, right click on that and then quit the application. You have to quit the application completely. So once that is done,
Chetna,
and then you can follow the steps as
Yeah.
mentioned in the
Thank
README
you,
file.
thank you. Yeah, yeah. Thanks.
I have a question. In the MCP server code, we wrote the client for the API, normal API servers, right? Yeah,
Yes.
REST API. And within Cloud, we can, because of that MCP dot tool decoration, this client code was converted into MCP server code, which was interrogated, whatever you want to call that, by the Cloud desktop, which became the MCP
Yes.
client. Am I right?
Yes. So
So,
this will
how,
this decorator will register this function as a tool for MCP server. So we are
does
defining it
it
as a
actually
tool
run?
here.
No,
Yes.
is it in a separate process within Cloud, in a sense, a separate OS process or something like that? These MCP servers?
Yeah, Claude has a separate processor for the MCP, I mean, for the MCP. So once you're calling it as @mcp.tool, then it will register it as a function or the, yeah, it registers this as a function and as a tool, and then for the MCP server. From there, it gets executed.
Yeah, how does Cloud talk to this MCP server? Is it HTTP or how is
Yes,
it?
it is via HTTPX.
Okay, so it is
For
internally an
further,
HTTP server. Okay, okay.
yeah, for further queries, you can refer to the MCP architecture that we have given here. So you can look into the flow.
How close it? Sorry. So
Chetna, like
I can see the fast MCP and PowerShell in the right hand side. How can I close it? Like that. I have shared the screenshot of. I can see like you are seeing fast MCP and PowerShell. Which
You
portion I
can
need
just
to?
click, yeah, the PowerShell, you can just kill the terminal or delete it. You can just keep the terminal which is running.
so, Chetna, I have entered all the tasks and even deactivated the terminal. But in my cloud app, it is just showing the 3 tasks which it was showing earlier. Like the 8 task, it is not showing.
Close the Cloud Desktop application and quit the application completely.
I have done that.
I think you have missed here. There is a show hidden icon, and then you can see a Claude icon here. So right click on that and then quit the application. Then you have to
Chetna, it's not
restart it
showing,
by.
right?
Sorry?
No.
It is not showing in my system, no?
No, I'm not able to get. Like after pasting all the tasks, what I need to do?
Save the file and then follow the steps that we have mentioned in the README file. There is a section we have defined. Once you have completed all the tasks, that is from task 4 to 8, you have a section for running the MCP server. So you
Yes.
can follow the same steps. If you're missing out something with respect to the quitting the application, then our team will be sharing a screenshot with respect to that in the chat box. You can just refer to that.
So I've already
Hello,
done
Chetna.
that.
If we have run all the things, like all the tasks in the application and we have run it, so can we leave the meeting, or is anything else you would want to teach?
If you have completed all the task, then you can share the screenshot and the review in the chat box so that we can see if it is completely done or not.
Yeah, I have shared in
So,
this chat.
One question.
yeah,
Yeah.
all of you
So
please
question
shared
is,
a review link. Please go
I
ahead.
have Chetna, like I have two questions for you and team. Like,
Yes.
how are you going to evaluate us like who has completed this task? And like my second question is like we have logged into the cloud desktop using our work email. So I would like to once this session is done, I would like to log out of it. So like, are you going to like how are you going to evaluate us?
We have asked for the screenshot for your reference, and then our team will be evaluating it in the backend. So you don't have to worry about the evaluation process. And the team has shared the review link. So I request everybody to fill the review link that is pasted in the chat.
Yeah. So can I log out of my cloud?
Yeah, if you have configured all the tools and perform the respective actions, then you can log out of your cloud desktop application.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chetna, one more question. Like
Can I
in
use this
case
link
there is
after also tomorrow?
I think sorry to interrupt. I think we have a lot of questions and very less time. I think we have only 8 minutes left now. So I request if you all can write down an email to us and I'll loop in Chetna and she can answer all the queries. Or there is a chat window. We'll answer all the queries over here. Meanwhile, I've shared a link for the review. Please help us with your reviews and share the screenshot of the review with us once it's approved, and we'll definitely share, you can avail the reward as well. And if you want such a personalized demo, or if you want access to the dashboard more as well, please write down to us and we'll schedule a personalized demo for you as well. And since we have very less time, I'd request everybody if we can drop in the questions in the chat quickly, or we can like take questions for 2 minutes more, and please write us
Shukriya.
down your
Shukriya,
queries.
that last
Shukriya,
screenshot,
actually,
which was the last
I have a
screenshot you
questions.
want?
I mean,
I also
whether we can get this project. I mean, can you share us the project, the whole projects that Chetana going through, like this documentation and this all the files and all this? Is it possible to share with us?
Yeah, our team will be sharing it. If you have any such request, you can just drop a mail to our support team so that they'll be getting in contact with you and then sharing the files.
It is
Will you
possible
share
that
recording
these
also?
are code
Chetana, will you
files
share
can be
recording
blocked.
also? Will you
How
share
are you sharing
recording
it?
also, Chetana?
Yeah, recording would be shared. The YouTube link would be shared in a week. And for the rest of the codes and all, please just email me on shivpriya@newipro.com. My email ID is in the chat. Please just note it down. And you can share the review if any queries and everything. I'll loop in the right team to answer your queries.
Yeah, along with the YouTube link, we'll be giving you the access to the repo link in which we have configured all those setups. So you can just use the repo for your reference and then create your own MCP server applications.
Thank you very much.
There was one question whether this will be available after the session also, this MC server and login and other things.
Yeah, the lab is available for 5 hours. That is from the time we launched the lab. So you can just practice it for some more time and then the lab gets deleted.
But after that, we need to mail you for the access if I want for 2 days afterwards.
Yes. You'll need to email us. My email ID is mentioned. Just drop me an email and we'll check with you or we'll give you a call back.
Okay, Shivpriya at the Shivpriya at nepro.com, right?
Yes, shivpriya@newipro.com.
Okay, thanks.
Supriya, for submission, which screenshot do we need?
Chetna,
Hello.
can you answer this question?
Which screenshot?
Sorry?
Which screenshot do you want for submission that we have completed?
The one where you have actually queried your NLP with the Cloud desktop. If you just share the chat and you can just share the number of tools that you have configured. You can just open this and then you can take a screenshot of this.
Yeah,
Okay.
participants,
Chetna,
can you
I have
mute,
a
please?
question. Let's say I want to book a ticket, and while booking, you need to pay it. So can MCP handle this situation?
Yes, if
Yes,
you
we will
integrate
have
it with
to. Yeah, we will have to develop the payment modules to interpret that. So we can do that. That will be a full-scale kind of application.
So certainly this thing is like very much possible if it payments even came in between the picture.
So like you have seen in the MCP server, that configuration, right? So this is one such MCP servers that we built for this a workshop kind of application now. And when it comes to the enterprise level application, then another MCP server would be developed with additional tools which would handle the payment module. So likewise, we can progressively build it and add to it.
Okay, thank you.
Chaitanya, so in the JSON that we are pointing to the Python file, right? So it, I mean, in a real-time world where there are multiple Python files, you still need to point to the Python file that has MCP server declared, yeah?
Yes.
One more thing, I
And-
want to add something to this question. So what if the MCP server is running remotely? How we, what changes we need to do in the config?
A good question here. So for this, if you're defining a tool as per the code, we have defined the URL here, correct? That is HTTP, localhost, the port number, etc. So instead of localhost, you can just place the IP of the remote machine where it is running. So if you just place it with the IP address and then if you connect it, you will be able to see the application, and then whatever everybody queries or whatever the bookings or the movies that are being added remotely, everything will be displayed in the same machine. It works
So I
something
want
like
to
a
host the
book my show.
MCP server itself
want to do
remotely.
this dance. The server can be installed at any site. So the MCP server will be required at wherever the client is, right? Say, for example, GitHub MCP server. So you need to have it in your place where it is running. Does it answer that question?
No. So here the MCP server and client is in same machine, right? What changes
so
we?
Yeah, MCP server should be there in your client machine. It cannot be on a remote, I believe. It should be there in the client machine because you are having that MCP server locally, and then the application. Say now in this case, it is a ticket booking application that can be hosted remote. But the MCP server, whatever you are configuring, that should be available in your client, where it can interact. Or if you are hosting that, then there needs to be some interaction between that whatever tool that you're using with that machine.
One additional point is that you can handle multiple MCP servers. So if you're having, here you can see there was only one MCP server here, that is the movie booking. If you're having any other applications server, that is the task management or the any other application, you can see the list here. And if you query it, it will understand which MCP server to connect, and then it will perform the respective API action. Suppose if I have task management along with the movie booking, and if I query that, add a task, then it will understand that it has to go and fetch it from the task management MCP, and then it will reply back asking for the required field, and whatever process is there in that API, the same thing will be reflected here. So you can run multiple MCP servers in the cloud desktop.
Yeah, the JSON has provision to basically define, add an array effectively.
Within the JSON, you can define one more MCP server telling the task management MCP, and then add a file path for it, and then you will be able to execute it. If you follow the steps mentioned in the README, then you can run multiple MCP servers on your cloud desktop.
So Chetan, if I have understood properly, you mean the same block of code with different content, maybe different name. I have to make different blocks within the same config JSON file, and accordingly, this list will be reflecting in Claude, right?
Yes. You need to add a MCP server in your JSON file, and with a minimal change, that is defining the function and the docstring and the URL. If you just make changes in these three blocks, you'll be able to launch it for a different application. And rest of the code remains same.
Then
Thank
can I
you.
able to add this MCP server to my agentic AI framework like LangChain or GrooveAI
Yes,
to
yes, you can add it to your frameworks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chetna.
Feel free to explore and experiment so that you will be able to understand better.
Hi, Chet.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Hello.
Chetna.
Am I audible?
Thank
Chetna?
you.
Hi.
Yeah, Sham, can I
Sorry,
please, Shamraj,
Thank
can I
you.
please request you to drop your query to me on the email?
I
Please
have
check the pinned
I
message.
have already logged my query into the chat. I am not able to log in till now actually. Trying since so long, but it's not login.
Okay,
Um,
what I would do is I would forward your query to the support team and they'll provide you the access. Please just drop me an email ID if possible.
Okay.
All right.
The lab will be active till 8 p.m. today, so you can have a hands-on session on that.
Yes, thank you. I am muting the participants for now. Thank you, Chetna. Thanks to you, Rishi, and your team for the workshop. And thank you to the participants. It's a wonderful participation that we've received today. I have pinned my email ID. Please do write down your experiences on LinkedIn, tag us, subscribe to our YouTube for the actual link of this session. You'll be getting it in a week, and appreciate you all joining. Write down your experiences on LinkedIn as well, and review us on G2 for the reward actually. Share the screenshot of the reward once it's approved with me on the email, and you'll receive a voucher as well. And for further demos like this, and Rishi and the team and Chetna and everybody can actually take you through all of these demos again. Write down to us on my email ID, and we'll schedule such a demo for you. Thank you once again for joining. You'll all receive the certificate of participation, and we'll choose the first top 3 winners as well, who will win the award for this hands-on session. Thank you so much.